1, 2, 3, perfect. 1, 2, 3, great. 1, 2, 3, fantastic. So we'll focus and we'll extend through our body gently. And we're going to extend very gently to each other, super gently. And then we're going to extend to the generational field of what you and I are expressions of, so we extend to them. Then we're going to extend to our teachers, the great yogis and gurus, and those people who embody awareness so completely that it becomes visible. And then we're going to extend to that mysterious dimension, the archetypical dimension of our own awareness, Sambhogakaya, and we extend to the Dakinis. Dakini, huh? And we'll connect to to Rinpoche, the Karmapa tonight who's chanting. Chanting the lion's roar. And we're going to extend to each other again. And now we establish ourselves in awareness. We're just going to stay in awareness. We'll leave our eyes closed just for a few minutes, and we're going to lower the that's that chant. We're going to turn it, and we're also going to record. And if people really, 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 super really want, Rinjin Dorje is coming back to Washington on the 14th, not the 14th, 15th, the 12th, that Wednesday, the 12th of August. And I was actually invited by Eric to go to the house and be in the hot tub with everyone. Okay, very nice invitation. But actually, I'm thinking it, if possible, and this is if there's really a passionate desire, okay, in order to have a Vajrakalaya empowerment, okay? And so if there's enough interest, okay, I should go through the labyrinth, okay, and see if we can work this out. But so you can think about that, and you can let me know after. The Vajra is different empowerments. The Vajrakalaya is one of the empowerments of cutting through, of being able to cut through into the manifestation of awareness, and to cut through difficulties, but ultimately it is actually the capacity to experience appearance as what it is, which is the manifestation of light. And that also we can experience our own experience as the manifestation of awareness. That is the primordial ultimate cutting through, is that all of our experience is the manifestation of awareness, that our karma is the manifestation of awareness. So in these traditions, appearances are really great. Appearance is the manifestation of light, and our experience is the manifestation of awareness. Sometimes you and I can experience awareness in and of itself, in our bodies, and then we can experience awareness in another person, and can even experience it in the physical world. But ultimately, it is the integration of the understanding that experience itself is the manifestation of awareness. There's not and when we experience our experiences, even like now you're hearing this voice talking, and you can experience your experience of that voice and the voice itself, and you can glimpse and feel that as awareness. It's not so much like believing it, I believe it's awareness, or even witnessing it with a belief. It's actually experiencing the manifestation of your experience as awareness itself. You guys follow that? Now, the Vajrakalaya is used for a lot of things, and it's symbolized by this dagger. Some of you guys know this, but this is an infomercial. Okay, so this dagger is a symbol of the capacity to cut through, and it's cutting through different ways, and one way. So the symbol is not a mental symbol. It is not an associative symbol. Sometimes people experience this in meditation, but it's a symbol that is a manifestation of awareness itself. So it's kind of like an unthought but known. You feel it, and I'm not going to pass it around this time, but you can feel the power of it at times, okay? So I know some of you guys have gotten you some of these things, and so to empower it, you'll feel the letter Ah in your right hand. You feel the letter Ah, primordial Ah, in your left hand. And then you also feel the moon in your right hand, the sun in your left hand. And the moon and the sun are manifestations of awareness. The moon is the soft, divine light of lovingness, and the sun is the firelight of cutting through everything, the luminous heat. So you hold it this way, and if you've got one this way, and you can put it above your head, and you turn it this way. Then here, forehead, throat, heart, right side, left side, and this side, okay? And then you can take it. But it's also a symbol of going through the different dimensions, huh? So this is a Vajrakalaya empowerment. And if people want on the 12th, if enough people want it, okay, I will see if that can be carried out. So maybe you can sign your name and give me your phone numbers. Because tonight's going to be our last night of the seminar. Okay, we usually stop around this time. So this will be the last Thursday night, and we'll start again in September. Okay? So, and then if enough people want to do this, and then I'll contact Moke and these people and see if we could work it out. Okay? To me, the empowerments are really real. It's just like those who did the Yeshe Lama. You could feel the power of those empowerments, or like transmissions, bringing forth of your own feel through a transmission or an extension of that which is there. Okay, in much of different Eastern traditions, you can see the feminine dimension, receptivity, the openness of the feminine. You with me? However, that is not a balance. It also has the Vajrakalaya is the phallic dimension. It is the cutting through component. You with me? And it's that mixture it is a skillful means. It is that mixture what gives the whole story. You with me? There is agency in this. So some tradition, and Buddhism, like Hinduism, any ism, is a huge swash throughout time with all sorts of opinions. You with me? But in the traditions talking here, and sort of what they call some of the Dzogchen traditions, and it's not all the Dzogchen traditions. I'll read from this book how it's described. If I can find it in 2/10 of a second. Yeah. Regarding the explanation of Tantra's meanings, there are two great chariot traditions: the vast common explanatory tradition, and the profound uncommon explanatory tradition. The first is the wondrous approach of the glorious Zora, the king of all knowledge mantra holders, which explains the Tantras according to the Mahayoga's scriptural traditions. The second represents the unsurpassable intent of the two lines of speech, Rongzhem, R-O-G-Z-O-M, and Longchenpa. This is where my prejudice lies in the last two. And this is the divinity of appearance ones. You with me? So certain traditions people achieve some degree of realization as a Dharmakaya. And so for them, nothing else exists other than the Dharmakaya. So we don't exist, you don't exist. Sambhogakaya doesn't, you're having visions on that, let's move past that. And this will move past that. Then there are other degrees of realization where a person realizes the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, that has validity. But in the Siddha traditions, and in this, the unsurpassable intent of the two lines of speech, Rongzhem and Longchenpa, is the divinity of appearance traditions. So in the three kayas are exactly the same. Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, pure awareness, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nimayakaya. It's all the divinity of appearance. You with me? Different manifestations. You and I are multidimensional people, and so in the siddhas primarily appearances. So in the siddhas tradition, appearances. The bliss of the world is the bliss of samadhi. The bliss of samadhi is the bliss of the world, and samadhi means the balanced mind. Huh? Samadhi is not our mouth hanging open, little flies coming in. Okay, it is the balanced mind. So appearances. Or so people make entrance. Some people who do lots of service. You know, you meet someone like Amachi. All that service. Someone loves their animal. They love that is entrance through Nimayakaya. You with me? And there's other people who have all these visions. They enter in through the visions and the light. And there's some who enter directly into the luminosity of the dark light, Dharmakaya. You with me? And they're all completely valid. And some cultures are Nimayakaya, some are Sambhogakaya. In the contemporary period, which to me is Longchenpa period, whether it's in some of the Shaivite masters, some of the Gnostic masters in Christianity, it is the divinity of appearances. And through that, there are different doorways. You guys follow what I'm saying here? Everybody okay with this? Okay. This works with appearances. The Vajrakalaya is an appearance. And the Vajrakalaya is a cutting through of both circumstances and also within ourselves, our own psychology. But it does also deal with external circumstances. It dissipates. It dissipates. It doesn't necessarily predict what's going to happen next, but it dissipates what's taking place. And then out of that, something else will arise. That's that empowerment, okay? Now, tonight I'm going to read again about the youthful Vase Body. Everybody here? Glad to have everybody here tonight. Welcome, welcome everybody. This making sense what I've said so far? It's okay. So the history of all this stuff is opinions in certain ways. And so there's a particular frame that we use here. And then the lamas who come here will have that frame also for the most part. A person has her eyes closed. She's in meditation. She's feeling this pure, unbound space. She opens her eyes, and then in front of her she sees her two children. And as soon as she sees her two children, she feels this immense, immense experience of oneness. That oneness that she feels with her children is not a delusion. You with me? It is a delusion when people think it is a delusion. Rather, it is the same exact phenomena. It's phenomena manifesting in another manner. You guys follow what I'm saying here? So first she's in the Dharmakaya, and then she's in the Mayakaya. Both are completely valid, and both are exactly. So the fourth kaya is called the Sambhika Kaya, and that's the kaya that declares all the kayas are exactly their oneness. It is the same essence. Okay. The fifth kaya is the Vajrakaya. And the Vajrakaya means that one feels this in a permanent way, an indestructible way. Okay? Everybody okay with this? Great. So now we're going to talk about the youthful Vase Body, which we talked about last week, and we've been talking about. Or another way of saying it is the flesh becoming luminous. So you can see why I'm preferencing this in the use of Longchenpa and Ronchen, the other person, because it has to do with the flesh as light. Everybody okay with this? Now, so the heart is the inner field, and the heart is the inner field of the ground, and the ground is the beingness of being manifesting itself in all these different forms, like the Dharmakaya. The heart is the inner field of the ground of the beingness of being, and the heart, which is primordial awareness itself manifesting. The heart is sometimes spoken of as a crystal palace, with all those lights radiating out. Then the crystal palace in the heart is further elaborated as what is called the youthful Vase Body. So the first appearance of the youthful Vase Body is the heart. And then it permeates the whole body, okay? But as we start to experience it, we start to experience the youthful Vase Body, or the Gnostic body, as arising from the heart and permeating our body, and then is formed the vase. With me? So there's some form of the vase is in here. We can all feel that at times. Even if we extend to each other right now, we'll try just from that center, we'll extend. Do we feel that a little bit? Say yes if we do. Then the vase becomes the skin itself. It is the light. It is the liquid-like light, and it moves through the skin. You with me? It is a container. You with me? It's a container that allows the flow to move. And then it can even become more like an aura around the body. It is not the same thing as the biological aura, as the biology aura. The vase is really important. But first let me read before I go on. So it is primordial awareness. It is Buddhahood, Shivahood, Christ consciousness. The youthful Vase Body is the inner manifestation of the ground's radiant light at its most primordial level. And the manifestation is unlimited. The youthful Vase Body is the body of Buddhahood or primordial awareness or realization. A spontaneous primordiality whose seal may not be opened. Okay, it does open, but for many people it is there, but they don't experience it. You with me? So some way, at some time, there is a renting of that veil. You'll see the same things in some of the biblical scriptures also. So that opens up, and it opens up through love, it opens up through loss, it opens up through yoga, it opens up in lots. There's no one way for that heart essence to open. But the method of extension helps it open more and more and more. You guys follow what I'm saying? Okay. Now, in the beginning, the youthful Vase Body is like a lamp burning inside a vase. It really is an unthought known. People feel this, they know it, they try to do this or that, but it slowly but surely, or fast for some people, opens up. In the beginning, it has no outer manifestation. But actually, that statement is true but not true. Because for someone, it may have no outer manifestation for me, but for you, if it's outer manifesting for you, you can see it manifesting in me. You guys follow what I'm saying? So it may not be outwardly manifest for me, so until it manifests for me, I cannot see it in you or this room. But if it's manifested in you and it's open in you, you can see it in me, even though I don't see it in me. And if you see it in me, it helps me see it in me through recognition. Everybody follow that? Okay, so I'm changing the statements a little bit here. And the yogi, and we're all yogis, people, human beings are yogis, natural mystics, the mystic humanism, are able to bring forth the self-awareness or the manifestation of the energy, of the radiant energy and light. So wherever we feel love, that light manifests itself. The seal on awareness is rent or opened, after which visions begin to emerge and manifest, in which the radiant light begins to emerge throughout the body and beyond the body. And we all know that every time we extend, it radiates beyond the body, and out of the inner yin meeting the outer yin, oneness exists, right? That's why the capacity, to feel the extension or the expansion of the inner radiance is oneness, and it's ultimately realization, okay? Especially as we integrate the immediacy of our situation, we integrate our mind, which is experience, and we integrate the kayas as they're manifesting. Okay, and these apparitions of light begin to manifest throughout the body. There is this radiant vision producing radiant light. It's the radiance of actualized awareness. The radiance is embodied as luminous flesh, the Gnostic body of light. So what happens is the more we learn to hold it and feel it and experience it, and sometimes whether people are doing practices, mantras, or through touch, human touch is a very direct way of bringing forth the Vase Body, okay? Especially in contemporary life. This radiance permeates the entire body, and through the permeation, infusement of the embodiment as flesh. Luminous flesh, meaning porous, that's the word porous. Porous. Liquid-like radiance. This embodiment allows and supports the flow of luminosity through the body. It holds the oneness of cosmic luminosity. Or saying this another way, a lot of people are A's. You have A, B, C, D's in the capacity to experience the radiance of light, okay? Depending on all sorts of situations, okay? Now, some people are A's, and they just feel that light coming through them totally and completely. You with me? It may be all at once, it may be gradually, but as an A, all that luminosity can be sometimes a just bit too intense, right? We all know this. You probably have felt it yourself. You with me? So, how to hold this light? That is why in the text we read last, was the text we did, the Medicine Buddha last week, we did that text, and there was a special phrase all about the complete importance of the Vase Body, the youthful Vase Body, because it helps one be a vehicle of the light and helps one be in the flow of the luminosity. You guys follow? So there's a certain container that we might call that container the youthful Vase Body. Say yes if this is making sense. It's making sense. Okay. Now, without the youthful Vase Body, the experience of luminosity cannot be easily held and contained. The body is full, contentful, blissful, and fluid. Now, the supports are both the vertical axis, right? We can feel that, and the horizontal axis. Okay? Meeting, where do these axes meet? They meet within the cave of the heart. And the channels flow actually from the groin up through the heart and through the throat, the palate, and ears into the eyes, the Gayatri channels at the top here. The axis goes deep into the earth element and up through the head into the sky. The perineum is the opening through which the axis exists in the earth. The earth element is completely really necessary in the formation of the youthful Vase Body of light. And it brings forth the formation and the grounding of the light. Everybody doing okay with this so far? You all guys know this already. The light arises from within me and you. The light also comes from above, and the light also arises out of the ground, right? And they meet within the innermost heart, and the blaze of the sun and the softness of the moon is a summation of the functions that brought forth. So when you read all these texts, they speak about the sun and the moon. The sun is the blaze of this light. It is actually the Vajra, okay? And the moon is like the mother, this delicious, soft, beneficent luminosity. Both those are a summation of the inner heart essence. Not the whole story, of course. Okay. The body's assimilation of the luminous light and the liquid light of transmission configurates the body of light. The body's assimilation of the luminous light and the liquid light of the transmission configurates the Gnostic body of light. The work on the body of light is the emphasis on experiencing the light as manifesting within the flesh. Experiencing the light manifesting as experience. So the body of light has a lot of different connotations. One is experiencing the light as manifesting within the flesh, and we learn to do that step by step. Experiencing the light manifesting as experience. You mean to tell me that all my experience, the entire wide range of my experience, is the manifestation of the light? Yes, this is the highest teaching in the Dzogchen, Mahamudran, and Shaivistic traditions. It's very simple when it all comes down to it. My experience of you, my experience of me, my experience of the body, my experience of the world is the manifestation of divinity. It's manifesting both within me as experience and the situations that I am in. And the same for all of us. Okay? The light manifesting as my mind, the light manifesting as the experience of sensation, the light manifesting as the experience of affects, the light manifesting as the experience of memory, that's disappearing, and the light manifesting as the experience of imagination, the light manifesting as the experience of thought. So it's a completely integrated frame. You guys following this? The manifestation of the light. The body of light, the youthful Vase Body, resonates to the field as the field, and it resonates to human touch within the field. So today we're focusing primarily, like we've been doing, on the esoteric, non-dual, but relational aspects of the manifestation of light. And of course, doing mantras and all these other things also, but much of what we focus on here is the relational dimension. Everybody doing okay? Because this is a contemporary world, and that is how a lot of things unfold. In the body of light, the youthful Vase Body resonates to the field and resonates to human touch within the field. The resonance to the experience of touch, when it's touched by a person who, I say, embodies somewhat the Gnostic body, the body of light, infuses and imbues the skin so that the skin becomes luminous. We know that by sitting in our geometries, that slowly but surely, out of resonance, the body of light is arising in a co-emergent process that's underlined co-emergent. It's not necessarily big dog with little dog. Okay? In the co-emergent process, there's the arising of the body of light. But touch is also useful because in touch, there's a particular quality of helping bring forth the body of light in the flesh. Okay? Many things can be transmitted non-locally. But often, when it comes to the body of light becoming enfleshed, it is actually through touch that can move about. It is not the only way. If you feel someone who has the body of light in them developed somewhat, and everybody here has the body of light developed in them somewhat, okay? Or you feel a great master, you feel Amachir, Rinjin Dorje people. If you focus and you feel the body of light in them, out of the same mirroring process, it will emerge in us. We all know that, right? We all know that. Nothing's new here. But also, as we work with each other through a certain type of touch, it can help bring forth the body of light. This is really important and useful because a lot of people, including most of us at one time, could not hold the light. And two things happen when we cannot hold the light. One, if the sheaths are too strong, too dense, and especially if there's been a lot of fear, people's sheaths get very strong. I mean tough, 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 tough. And if those sheaths are tough, that light is not going to come through. And also, they're not going to be able to have resonance to other people's light as much. Everybody knows this. So there has to be sometimes some sort of working to open up slowly but surely the sheath. You with me? Because if that doesn't open up, as that light starts to have some some resonance, you are going to feel like you are going to explode. You with me? And not only that, with all that heat and light taking place, you are going to be profoundly pissed off at times and really be angry. Because the light element and anger is very closely related. You guys follow what I'm saying here? Okay.
Very closely related to...
Say, I'm kind of...
Would you just rephrase it?
Would you say what I said? Because I'm kind of moving...
Anger and
yes, yes. Yes, the fire of anger. You with me? The fire of anger and the fire of hatred are very, very close. You with me? And and in situations, the fire of hatred saves people. It saves people. It saves people in all sorts of situations. That's why in these traditions, anger is actually very useful. You with me? When people do not submit to all sorts of tortures and all kind of things, you with me? And they have this fire, you with me? That saves them from the self being completely destroyed. You guys follow what I mean here? So, so there are certain forms of rage that are simply impotent. That's a misdirection of this. It's not known how to be held properly. You with me? So that's why in the Vajra Kalaya text that I gave people, and I'll give that out again tonight if I can, that English one. It's so there's a connection. But what happens is the actual radiance and the capacity of transmission, the capacity of resonance, the capacity of feeling support. If the sheaths are too tight, it doesn't take place. And you can have people who have lots of energy. Raise your hands if you've seen that in people. So we know that. Now, also, without the radiance, without the extension, the person starts going into ascendant states, but becomes more and more disembodied in doing so. So you feel they're not so much in the ground anymore. It just keeps going up in a spiral. It can have actually very ecstatic and beneficent experiences, but it really does not help being in the world much. Everybody doing okay with this? The other side of this story is when people have lots of light, they're so talented and the light comes through, and they do not have the Vase Body there. You with me? They just fell into it. They meet a great yogi and whammo. Or whatever happens, they're in an accident and whammo, it opens up. Or for whatever reason, pain can open it. All sorts of things open up the luminosity, okay? And so all that luminosity just burst open. It is divinity itself, but frankly speaking, it's a bit too much. You with me? It is. And so one has to learn to start to moderate the light, dampen it a little bit, close it up a little bit, and then start building the body of light, the Gnostic, the youthful Vase Body, in to hold it. We need a container. That's what we're going to work on tonight. We've been working on. Is this making sense to everyone? I hope everybody's together on this. Is it? Okay. Now, so the luminous container and the vehicle of the vase breath, because you start feeling yourself breathing through the whole thing, and the luminous resonating flow. So one is becoming the flesh as light. One is becoming the light as flesh. One's becoming what one is, actually. One is becoming light as humanness. Huh? So this really is humanness. You have to be very careful in this topic that we do not spiritualize this in a certain way that is intrinsically disgusting, but intrinsically destructive. You with me? Because if you spiritualize it in a certain way and make it the otherness, you with me? Holy otherness, it is not doing honor to the Namayakaya dimension, which is the body of light manifesting in the body, which with that body of light manifesting in the body as the flesh allows me the complete realization of the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya dimensions. Everybody okay with that? Darth, it making sense? Okay. You guys following this? I hope I'm not just overly doing this. So one is becoming and bringing forth what one is, incarnating the light of awareness. This is why someone like Herbert Gunther, was perhaps one of the most brilliant translators of the Tibetan tradition, Dzogchen, would come to say, and he was a brilliant, brilliant person. He knew phenomenology completely. He knew many religions. He knew many, many languages. He used to be at Varanasi. That the Christian Gnostics were the great influences on Dzogchen. That is an amazing statement, huh? Because the Christian Gnostics are about light, and the battle of the Christian Gnostics was exactly on this. Who was the Christ? You with me? Was it the Son of God as an entity, or was he as all human beings the light? So you have two different traditions that take off at that time. You guys follow what I'm saying? So, compassion itself moves towards outer clarity. We're almost done. Radiating out. The aspect of compassion is propelling pristine cognition or pristine knowingness. So compassion, which is knowingness, is the great motivator of radiance. It is compassion that opens and radiates the radiance. It is compassion which is the great extension. You guys follow what I'm saying here? So we're almost done. The wind of luminosity opens or breaks through the outer wall of the youthful Vase Body, and then spontaneous radiance appearances set in, and one begins to experience the outer arousing of the ground or manifestation of awareness. We're going to stop here at this dimension, at this point here. But as this arises in us, there's a certain piece of work that is often not done around the body, and how to embody this. And then, as we start to feel this manifesting in ourselves, we can then experience it manifesting in the other, and then we can feel it manifesting in the world, and then the kayas become completely apparent. That's a summation. But to hold this, so you have a lot of wonderful people who meditate, who pray, who do all sorts of experiences, but without the Vase Body, which is often not written about. You can hear it, but it will not be held. So experiences disappear. They arise in me and they disappear. They arise in me and disappear. And they arise in me and disappear. So this is part of the end of the esoteric seminar we've been doing for the past since September, okay? But it ends with the importance of the Vase Body, okay? So we're going to work on that a little bit right now. This okay with everybody? Do we have any questions right now so far? This should be explicitly clear. Okay. Everybody okay? So let's see, just for okay. Would you mind coming over just for a minute? Welcome back, Ginny. Everybody here, everybody okay? Everybody feels connected? Everybody's okay? You're going to sit right in front of me, okay? Okay, and I'm going to have Dorothy sit right here. Okay. And Dan, would you mind sitting right there? Okay, you're going to sit right here next to me. Then we're going to bring everybody else in a few minutes too, but we just want to do a little demonstration here, okay? You're going to come closer to me because I want to sit in this little seat. Now, this is not particularly easy because you have to feel the Vase in your own body to do this. So it takes a certain type of concentration. You with me? And part of this is feeling the Vase in your own body is how the body's built. You with me? So we can all feel the rays a lot, but the capacity to feel it in one's own body is really necessary. You with me? And if you're just in the Dharmakaya, you will not feel this, okay? Huh? If you're in Sambhogakaya, that will come into Nimayakaya relatively easily. If you're in Nimayakaya, it can draw on all three. It is drawing on the Dharmakaya. Now, I'm going to do this with Jenny, and I'm choosing an easy person first, okay? So I'm going to have to feel it, get into it just for a moment. And Michelle, would you hold the microphone for Ginny, please? And would you describe what you're experiencing right now, dear? And Dorothy's going to hold it for you. What's happening in your wrist?
As you did that, I just felt an opening. I felt it come all the way up my body.
Okay, that opening is important. That opening is not the Vase Body, okay? So this is not a criticism, just how we're working. That opening is really necessary to open the field, awaken the field.
Oh, I feel a lot of heat right now.
You're going to feel the heat. What's happening in your wrist?
My wrist. It's like little, it feels like a lot of light. There's just a lot of
Great.
light.
What's it like to feel that in your skin? Now, I'm giving her some direction. I'm giving some pointing out instructions.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Now, I'm staying on the surface. I'm staying as surfaceful as possible, and I'm trying to feel this and talk at the same time. It's a little bit white. What's it like to feel that in your skin, love?
It feels, wow. It's enlivening.
It's enlivening.
It feels hot.
It's hot.
And it just feels like almost like my skin is, I don't want to say disappears, but there's just so much light that it...
Okay. Now, when she's saying that it disappears, that means I'm overdoing it right now, okay? Because I want to densify it a bit more. So now I'm going to shift a bit. And I'm feeling Dorothy and Kay next to me, so there's a lot of energy coming in, okay? So I'm densifying now. I'm densifying this a little bit. What happens is I'm densifying this into your body a little bit.
I feel like it did help me feel more grounded.
Grounded, right.
By you're doing that.
Just feel it in the flesh, okay? Now, I'm going to touch you here, if you don't mind, just for a moment. Now, sometimes you can touch for the clothes a lot, but initially, right, we're just doing it through the skin up here. What does that feel like as we do that?
It feels really very comforting. It feels blissful.
It feels blissful. It feels delicious. What's it like to feel that in the skin and around the skin and through the skin?
It almost sends chills through my skin.
Yes, it's very pleasurable.
Yes.
Now, after I've removed my hands, are you still feeling that?
Yes.
What's it like to still feel that?
It feels really nice. It's very enlivening.
It's very enlivening. Does it feel protective?
Yes.
How does it feel protective?
By being aware, so aware of my skin, it almost feels like it's like a invisible cloak that I
Yes.
can feel.
Yes, it's an invisible cloak. You with me?
Yeah.
And if you read some of these texts, there's Padmasambhava, and he's got this cloak, and he's got that cloak, and it sounds like you're hearing a fashion show with little soft velvet shoes. You with me? They're describing the layers of the body, the Vase Body. Okay, so all this is often disguised. Now I'm going to touch you on your navel just lightly, just for a minute, through the clothes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things is we can start to feel this moving somewhat on its own. So I don't have to touch every space necessarily. You with me? So there's a mercurial component to this. And that mercurial component means that it's non-mechanistic. It is alive. But it's moving around through her. You with me? And so it slowly but surely will form more of a vase. Now she already has some there, but this is amplifying because she's worked and she's done a lot of things. But it sort of seals it. It brings it into explicitness. And I'm going to touch you on this side. Now, we've touched each other a lot, but I am not touching like I typically touch, extending the light. I'm feeling it in me, and if I can feel it in me, then I can feel it in her surface. Can you guys feel that as we do this? What's it like as you're witnessing? What are you feeling as we do this?
Sometimes I feel as if I'm you doing it, and sometimes I feel as if I'm her receiving it, and sometimes I feel as if I'm me just experiencing both.
What is the experience like?
It's powerful and solid
Solid.
and wispy at the same time. I mean, just
Yes, it's
But
wispy is a
solid.
word. There's a fluidity to it. That it's both solid and fluid. That's why I use a word like mercury. It's like mercurial. And how are you doing now, Jenny? What's it like for you at this moment?
I just feel like I feel like a holding of myself, but it's a nice holding. It's a nice, gentle, solid.
Holding.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not restrictive.
And
at
it's not
all.
restrictive.
No.
It's fluid.
Yeah.
And it's holding. And I'm going to have you just extend just a little bit through the perineum, just a little bit. And I'm going to touch her here and just feel that same touch, extending it down a little bit there. And what I'm feeling is in my own body some of that Vase Body, okay? And like most things, it's through some direct mirroring, okay, co-emergent, that this takes place. And how you're doing now?
I feel very, when you said the perineum, I just feel very grounded and like I've got a real good seat. Kind of
Yes.
seated.
It's like actually having a really good, solid seat. You with me? It's not depending on her posture or anything like that. The true seat is the Vase Body, okay? And you're in it there now. You're doing great. Okay? Can other people feel her a little bit right now? Because we all learn it's not my blabbing, okay? It's really having the experience together, okay? Just hanging out a little bit. And how are you doing right now, Dorothy, with the experience? If you could put it to her.
There's something so, well, it makes me feel very confident because there's almost, there's a form, there's a kind of form, but
There's a form. There is a form to the Vase Body. There's a
Right.
form. It's actually at the level of form.
but my skin is vibrating and
I'm touching here with this now.
Yeah.
I have to go into it again. And if you wouldn't mind describing it, because as you describe it, we can all experience
No,
it.
it's that I actually feel a shimmering kind of quality through all of my skin, particularly my arms right now. And there's movement inside. It's as if there's a body within my body supporting my form.
Well said. There's a body within the body that supports it. And sometimes it can feel like a cloth, and suddenly it gets deeper, and it's like a form supporting it. It also, it moves on its own. You with me? It moves on its own. So it's not like this is not a mechanical experience. You with me? And as she's holding it, it moves through her body, and so that, like, the job can be done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tremendous support.
Now I'm going to have Kate. Kate, you're okay? Dan, would you give this? I'm going to have you stay over there, Kate, because Kate is extremely sensitive, and she's been working in this. She started our seminar, and then she's taken a break for a number of months, or not a long, 2 months.
Months. Yeah.
Would you just share your experience about the Vase Body? Would that be okay with you?
Tonight, or just since we've been working on it?
No, since we've been working on it, because
Sure.
Here,
I was one of those people who had I had profound pain for many years, and started sort of being hit by a tremendous amount of light and energy, and this sort of dark sun and appearances and all of these things, and it was incredibly overwhelming. I mean, it was beautiful and wonderful, but it was way too much, for me to integrate and know what to do with. And so then I started to work with Rudy, and the first thing that he did was calm it down, put some seals, sort of.
We pacified it.
And it was amazing to me that, I was feeling so much, moving around at the top of my head, and it would become sort of tight and uncomfortable, and he just sort of put this mantra on it, and it never happened again. So a lot of it is pretty amazing in that sense, but
skillful. None of this is miracle.
No,
it's skillful. Okay. It's at this level of skillful means for all of us.
Right.
Do this.
And then we started working more directly on the Vase Body through touch primarily. Well, first through connecting,
inner
like
heart,
we do the inner heart, and then extension, and then through touch. And I would say that in the beginning we just worked sort of on my upper body and the heart, and the first time I experienced it sort of as a cloak or a densification. And then as we've worked on it more, it's become more integrated, a lot more what you're describing, sort of this porous movement and an aliveness to it, emotion to it, but also a real grounding. And I'm at the point where different parts of my body are more enlivened than others too at this point. So this area feels very alive, and my legs I'm starting to feel that way with. In the beginning, I sort of felt had boots on, and then it's moved into my skin, and it's just giving me a lot of grounding. And the absolutely astonishing thing, which is pretty close to a miracle for me, even though I understand that that's not what it is. I've been bedridden in pain, and in fact I just had several months of bedriddenness. It's part of why I stopped coming. And by working indirectly, somehow we're managing to sort of create, and feeling the bliss in my body in the areas where there isn't pain, we're managing to sort of contain the pain into smaller and smaller areas of my body. And by doing that, it's actually starting to, and then other areas, because it's all sort of in this area. So my sort of area in my belly, those areas were closed off, and they've opened up. Those centers have opened up, and I've been seeing a lot of this. I guess you call it the lapis lazuli, whatever light. Anyway,
automatically, she just feels it permeating
right.
The place we haven't gone to.
Right.
the light
it
is
opened
naturally
up.
there working, which
Right.
is totally cool.
And it's sort of healing, sort of from the front back, and in the process, the pain has diminished quite a bit. So it's pretty remarkable. Now
Cool.
it still goes up and down a little, and when it goes up, I'm supposed to call. And we speak every day too. We work on this every day.
Right.
It's not, a simple thing.
Keeping it at
but
one.
and sometimes meet twice a week. So, but it's been quite profound, and
Thank you so much. Okay, because there are a lot of implications for the body, and pain is one of them. The number of other people, but for pain especially, because I remember the statement in the Healing Buddha we read last week that bliss removes suffering. Remember that one? That is a very powerful statement. So that's kind of the guide we're using. That bliss removes suffering, and we're working. And it is a miracle in a way, but we don't want to again make it overly that way, because then we lose efficacy with that. You with me? And it's really great. And she's extremely talented, and it's her talent that brings this ahead, no question about it. And she has enormous archetypical support that are around her and with her. So all that is there. But the Vase Body component really helps this become a very doable
right.
and efficient thing
It's
with
sustainable. Too.
confidence and sustainability. That's what's so cool about it, is the confidence. So we make adjustments. Sometimes we go too far this way, it's too open or too closed. But there's a confidence as this body's being formed. So now, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so we're going to now have everybody's going to start moving and doing some more work with this. So you can sit right there. Okay. Okay, you're going to sit in the middle right now, and then everybody else can come around, but you may just want to stay over there with your energetic. She's back at work and coming thing, but we don't want to overdo it. We're both extremists, so we have to watch our extremism step by step. You're an extremist too.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I hope you feel in the group.
Absolutely.
So let's all focus, and we're going to focus just with our wrists. And the wrist is especially good for this, because it's concentrated, it's very soft, and yet there's a lot of power in the wrist. So, and now when I'm blabbing away and I'm excited about Kate, I keep losing the Vase Body, so I have to get back into it and really focus, because it does take a real focus to do this. And then we'll start doing it with each other. And then I'm going to ask Dorothy and Ginny to touch Kay. And then I'm going to touch Dan just for a minute. And then after I work with you, Dan, we'll have you touch people too. And Kay, would you just describe what's happening for you right now? We're always having to blab in this seminar. What's happening now?
All the tension is melting out of my body, but at the same time, I feel very stable.
What's it like to feel the stability?
Strong, solid.
And how's your skin? What is that like for you?
My skin feels like it's in some way the color of the sun, and radiant and soft.
And soft, okay. When she says soft, because up to this point I didn't know if we were being too bright. You with me? So as soon as she says soft, I know that then it is the Vase Body's being formed. because it's very soft, it's very pliable, and liquid-like. You guys follow that just now? So, and how you doing now?
Great.
What's it like? We'll use our wrists here. And I'm going to lean you forward to me just a little bit if you don't mind. And I'm going to touch you here with my wrist just a little bit. And I'm feeling it in my body. What's that like as I'm touching you there, hon?
This is weird. I feel fully me, and yet I'm noticing everything around me in a more noticing way.
Okay, so I'm hearing she feels the vase, and also she feels the flow around her. So it's both at the same time. I'm completely my own self, and yet I feel with me. And again, everybody here has been working in a lot of ways, okay? But what I'm liking, a few touches, you with me? And it's starting to form. And then, so there'll be more capacity to sustain. How are you doing now?
Well, I feel like I just put on this tan Spider-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes with me.
Yes. Sometimes people do like a leotard, you know.
Like a
just
leotard.
stay with it,
Sort
okay?
of like a elastic leotard.
Elastic. Now you can just stay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, I'm dropping back now because actually it's being completed, okay? With her, just stay with it. There's more than one time you can go over it and stuff, you see. But there was a certain touch that I felt it just move. So it's not like mechanical. You with me? Sometimes you go step by step. But sometimes it just moves very quickly. You doing okay with that? And you can come sit here, okay? You guys getting something out of this tonight? The Vase Body is really useful. A lot of things we can do non-locally. We can extend the field. But when it comes to this, at least I have not discovered a way to do that other than through touch. Okay, Dan, you want to sit in the middle? Okay, now you're going to breathe for a second. You're doing great, okay? And you're just going to feel me a little bit, okay? And you can feel Kay a little bit. You're going to feel Dorothy a little bit. You can feel Ginny behind you. Is it okay for you to feel us that way? Okay, so we're doing a little bit more advanced now with them. We're going one more step, okay? What's it like to feel that? To feel that in us?
I like to feel sort of heat arising, and the sense of expansion, and
What I hear Dan saying at this moment, he's feeling the radiance. So the Vase Body's opening, so to speak. He's feeling the radiance, but we're going to densify it a little bit. Is that okay with you? So I'm going to touch Dan here. And then Dorothy can touch Dan, and Kay, and Ginny and Kay. And as I touch him, I try to enter in with that touch, the density. So it's not, I'm not pulling energy, I'm not transmitting energy, I'm feeling that density of myself, the Vase Body in me. And it has a certain density to it. So that's what I like throughout my body, okay? Not unlike the leotard, okay? I don't quite picture myself in leotards, but a cloak. How are you doing right now?
good.
What's it like?
Density is a good word. I feel more dense and more contained.
Yes. Now, is it okay for you to feel that density and containment?
Yes, feels very good.
Can you still feel the radiance at the same time?
It's modulated.
Okay, it does get modulated, okay. So, as he stays with this for a while, okay, then the modulation, as he gets used to the density, then the flow will come back with its intensity. Okay, do you mind? We could weaken it a bit right now, so I'm just going to just pull it a little bit. Is that okay with you? It's sort of like the three bears, you know, too much, too little, or just enough. How's that feeling now between containment and flow?
Well, it's not as dense, and there's not as much flow. It's actually sort of still.
It's still, okay? It's not as dense, it's not as much flow, but it's still right now. What's it like to feel that stillness, and yet there's expanse in it? Another way, what's it like to feel the stillness with some expanse in it?
It feels very alive and yet contained,
Yes.
not scattered.
Not scattered. So at this point, there's enough taking place here, it seems to me, okay? And and then we'll take a break. And then you can notice how it continues to unfold. But we're going through what some of the dimensions are. How are you doing with this? Now, sometimes when we first feel it, we can start to feel a little bit of a loss, like everything is not as bright. But the containment will actually help us sustain it in the more balanced way throughout our body.
It's very interesting because the phase that I felt the most comfortable in was the dense phase.
Yes. So this is a little less dense.
Right.
Okay. Would you like it more dense?
Yes.
But see, that's the question. That is the adjustments that have to do with this, okay? And that you feel you feel the breeze a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good sign. If you can feel the breeze, he's in the sphere of awareness, SPHERE. But these are some of the things that we all work on. Too dense, too thin, just too bright, not enough brightness. Okay, but we can densify it again if we want it. But I think it's okay if you. Would you mind?
Yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable. I was just remarking.
No, but that's useful for remarks with this. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see. We'll have a chance tonight. John, would you mind coming to the middle a little bit? We're going fast, but by going fast, we get a lot of the phenomena around the youthful Vase Body. And supposedly, when you have this, it helps you. Do you want some pillows, hon?
And I just needed to get
Okay. It helps you feel 16, supposedly. I don't know if anybody's feeling 16 here. Okay, you feel 16? Good, good. Okay. Here we go. Now I'm going to touch your body here. And you and I have done some of this, though we haven't spoken about it so much when we were doing it. Can you feel the body in him right now? Can you feel the form in him? These are questions rhetorical, but that's what you want to sense. Do I feel the form? Or can I sense it or see it? And John, what's it like for you right now?
I feel the energy awakening, moving around. Space opening up. It's warm, it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Very pleasant.
And what does the skin feel like? That's a metaphor right now. What does the skin feel like for you? Your skin.
It's very alive.
How would you describe that aliveness?
It's somehow it's very conductive. It's very fluid.
Yes. That's a great word. It's conductive and fluid. What's it like to feel the conductiveness and fluidity through your body?
I'm not quite sure what the word is, but it takes away that sense of sort of solid mass, and it's like opening it up.
It takes away the feeling of the solid mass. That is great, okay? And what does the opened upness feel like?
It's like all of a sudden the body is not contained in the skin, the physical skin anymore. It's almost as if the physical body's floating within a sphere.
Yes. So for him right now, the physical body is within the sphere, S-P-H-E-R-E, of the body of light, okay? And in a certain way, that's another way it manifests. So and it's not way out there. It's not the big buffer. It's right close to the skin. But his physical body now feels within the Vase body. Doing okay with that?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually, given how I came in tonight. I was hoping you were going to call me because I figured I was going to be the failure.
Great, but notice
it happens.
It
It
just
works.
happens. So it happens all of a sudden,
Yeah.
automatic. So we're doing our thing, but it happens. It's
Yeah.
not like we're necessary, but we're not the sufficient condition
And
for
there was
change.
nothing that I did except just be present to
And
it.
suddenly it comes into being. You with me?
Yeah.
Great. What I like about Kate's work is she's been going she has to go step by step, because given the nature of the pain that's there as it's slowly being, so it just doesn't happen at one time automatically, which would not be the best thing. It goes step by step, and the pain's getting contained. So again, to me, this always makes me a believer that consciousness is intelligence. You with me? It is knowingness that we're working with. You with me? And it does have a mind of its own, you know, which is really great to know. You know. You're doing okay with this?
Great.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm just feeling that light and that energy, or that the body around it, just sort of floating in it.
It's like fluidity of beingness,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Fluidity of beingness. And it's actually the Vase body, when it gets there, it is both this fluid solidity, but it allows one to feel in time, the capacity to soar. And soar means you just walk through the situation in a fluid-like way. Not that you're up in the sky, but you feel this movement of just moving through.
It started off very sharp and with sort of energy flowing around, and
Yeah.
now it's just opened up, and now it's just very, very complete and around.
Complete and around, yeah. And some of the great texts of the Chan Buddhists call it the round. That's how they speak about it. You read the round. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And let's have Michael. Want to come here, Michael? Everybody get a chance tonight? Okay. Everybody feels awake? So we're going to touch Michael right now. I'm going to take your hands just for a minute, huh? You want to feel it in your body. And also we can feel it in everybody that's worked, because we're always using mirror. It doesn't mean it's not in you already. But through the mirroring, it intensifies what's there for all of us, right? So I'm feeling Kay, and I feel John. And Michael, what's it like for you right now? Just stay with the feeling. What's it like for you, sir?
Well, it's more comforting
Great.
than anything anything else I can say.
Yes, well, great. Just stay with the comfort. You know, there's no one entry, right? What's it like to feel that comfort?
It's soothing.
It's soothing you.
Yeah.
And
And before I came into the circle, a tremendous amount of energy was coming out of my wrists, but not so much right now.
right.
It's sort of drawn back into my body.
It's drawn back into your body, right? There's a little bit less, and just feel that soothingness, if you don't mind. That's his entry, right? We all have different entries. And what's it like to feel that soothingness through your body?
You mentioned about skin,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to think, what is it about my skin
Mm-hmm.
like this? And what I'm sensing is it feels good to be in the skin. It's not so much what's going on with my skin.
Yes.
It's that I like being in there.
Yes. Isn't that a great feeling to be in the skin? Okay. So as he's talking, I'm hearing this in that another metaphor
Yeah.
of the container being held, and for me, it is extremely pleasurable. It's comforting, and it is like embodied. It's like being touched. You see, and it's hot. Great. Thank you very much. Okay. And then we have somebody else here. Let's see. Sephora, you mind sitting in the middle? You guys getting something out of this tonight? It was all making sense to everybody? And you can sit right in the middle. There's no question this is not the only way of doing this, right? You know, but it's a very good one. Now I'm going to touch you here for just a minute. I'm touching people pretty much at the same place, but there's no particular place. And then you can lean into me a little bit, Sephora, just a little bit. That's right. So I know as people lean in, whether it's me or Kay or anyone, it opens up the field a little bit. Now you can feel it coming in. How are you doing right now? What's it like for you at this minute, hon?
Fluid, elastic, movement, still at the same time.
At the same time.
I have a sense of my organs being expanded,
Plumped
and
up a little bit.
watery, plumped up. The chakras are open. There's tremendous light energy moving through, horizontally and vertically. And that's it.
Great.
It's in my eyes more
Okay.
than it's.
What's it like to
there's
yes? What's it like to feel that in your eyes?
It is seeing co-emergence.
Cool.
It's almost as if what's happening in my skin, I'm seeing it
In my
your
skin.
skin.
Great. There is that co-emergent capacity, but there's another way of bringing that forth, okay? And some people describe it also in their eyes as if it's coming from behind, stands behind their eyes. That's happening here, great. And that is also another sign of the emergence of the Vase Body. It's behind. So you feel this behind your eyes. Like, what is this, you know?
Yes, it's just wonderful.
Cool.
There is a, as each person was in the middle, it was seeing it, and the skin just expanding and a fluid, and there is,
It's juicy also.
yes.
Thank you so much. Just
it's like opening up a subtleness, a subtle body, I guess.
What's it like to feel that subtle body opening?
Everything just relaxed.
It relaxes.
Yes.
It really helps relaxation. Huh? So it also means this, because she's bringing statements helping all of us. Part of the issue with this whole thing is the amount of intensity. Touch under her heart right
At
here.
the beginning, as you said, everything just intensified, and all around my body it just felt like the cells were popping, and the relaxation allows allows me to take that in more, and just it feels more comfortable and more less intense, but not less powerful.
Well said.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch it here. This is one of Eric Pearl's favorite places right here, and I always think it's a very powerful center to do this. And how are you doing now?
Well, that added the bliss. That brought a real joyful quality to the whole experience.
Where's the feeling of pressure? I'm going to touch you.
Great. The quality of that energy behind the eyes, and it's like seeing diamonds. It's seeing the
seconds, my heart is palpitating. But then I feel very much like elastic.
What's it like to feel that elasticity?
It's like a bubble.
Yes, it's like a bubble. It's not a plastic bubble. It's an elastic, alive thing. Isn't that great?
It's fantastic.
And just stay with that for 2 minutes. I'm just going to touch you under your neck just a little bit. What's it like for you right now?
I feel very relaxed and very much in my body.
We're really happy for you. And just feel it. There's a lot of heat, a lot of fire and light, okay? Yeah. That is the inner heart radiance coming through, okay? It actually all this arises out of the heart, ultimately. But
feel very tall and aligned.
Yes. What's it like to feel that alignment?
I feel strong. Comforting.
Yes. Just things like that. I'm just going to touch your navel lightly just for a minute, okay? In the body, do you feel the form within your body? That's a strange question. If you don't worry about it.
I feel the space within my body being contained.
Great. Notice where the space comes to the container.
Mm-hmm.
Now also feel the outer side of it if you don't mind. Inner and outer side of the container.
It's interesting. It brought more bliss into me.
Yes, more bliss. Would you take this as an assignment every day for 3 days just to feel the inside and the outer side of that container?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Great. And what's it like for you now, right? In this moment?
Feels comfortable. Comfortable, safe.
Mm-hmm. Safe. Is it the sense of safety of the body? Comfortable and safe. What's it like to feel that safety?
It's peaceful and yet just solid and
You can sit and hold it for a few minutes. Thank you. That's a cool way of doing it. And what are different ways? But that's is a very powerful place for people. Always is. Underneath the arms, because it's one of the least protected places in the human body. Okay, right into here. Into the armpit.
Really warm and powerful here, and you've been putting your hands in exactly the right places that I've needed.
Really? And what's the experience like? What does it feel like for you?
It's very different than sitting outside the circle. There's a lot of warmth and a lot of feeling of energy coming in from around me and then going upward through me and out through my head.
Cool.
From
From all directions.
From all directions. One thing we ask them, what are you feeling, is not so much for information, but then people.
Still, it's very solid.
Yes, it's solid. I like it. It's not euphoria, but it's solid. There's a bliss to it too at times.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's just like that Mayakaya day, you know. I'm gonna touch you here if you don't mind.
Lengthening.
What I'm doing is I'm not. Actually, that's the real truth of it, you know. It's not a transmission. It's permeating it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
my arms, I don't feel any effort to hold them like this. They're just here.
The statement of effortlessness does it. But you can see someone like Amachi, how she works with that effortless, ongoing, 24/7 thing. And totally feel. And the physical body does all sorts of things.
I feel much straighter, much. It's not hard for me to sit straight in this position. It's usually very hard.
You feel yourself being held in it. Actually.
Yes, I'm totally supported by my inside body.
So let's just feel that inside body just a little bit for another minute, if you don't mind. Just feel it and feeling it.
Tiny ones that are just that my skin, not that it's going way, that it goes out from here, but from the skin it's just like that.
Like crystals.
Like crystals.
Little pearls.
Yeah.
Pearls like this,
Mm-hmm.
It always looks really beautiful.
Mm. It's very joyous. Very.
Sit for a few minutes. it again, huh?
Somehow strong.
Strong, it's strong, yeah. Is it moving around your body, or is it one place, or what is that? Where is the locus at? Where is the spot at?
Well, Ginny's hands are incredibly hot.
Uh-huh. And what does it feel like in your body? I'll touch you just for a second.
It feels hot and solid and moving all at the same time.
Great. Hot, solid, moving. That's a nice description.
Wonderful.
Can you describe it? What's it like?
It's electric and light. I almost feel weightless, but
But solid.
exactly.
Cool. Just stay with that. Just let yourself feel